Monday Night Showdown. Philadelphia Eagles at Los Angeles Chargers. A Week 14 betting deep dive. The bright lights of Monday Night Football in Week 14 will shine on a compelling interconference matchup as the Philadelphia Eagles travel across the country to face the Los Angeles Chargers. This game carries significant playoff implications for both squads and, consequently, has generated considerable buzz in the sports betting community. From the head-to-head matchup dynamics to the nuances of the spread, money line, and total points, this 2,000-word analysis will serve as your ultimate guide to wagering on what promises to be a thrilling primetime affair. The matchup: Eagles ground game versus Chargers aerial assault. To understand the betting lines, one must first dissect the fundamental strengths and weaknesses of the two teams and how they clash. Philadelphia Eagles, the run-first juggernaut. The Philadelphia Eagles, under their current regime, have firmly established themselves as one of the most dominant rushing teams in the NFL. Their offensive identity is built around a punishing offensive line and a dynamic quarterback, Jalen Hurts, whose dual-threat capability forces defenses to account for an extra runner on every play. Key offensive factors for the Eagles. Offensive line dominance. The Eagles' O-line is often cited as the best in the league, consistently creating holes for running backs and protecting the quarterback. This strength is particularly potent against teams with a weaker defensive front. Jalen Hurts' impact. Hurts' ability to execute the run-pass option, RPO, and his effectiveness as a scrambler or designed runner adds a layer of complexity that few defenses can fully neutralize. Time of possession. Top. By controlling the line of scrimmage and maintaining long, methodical drives, the Eagles aim to chew up the clock, keep their defense fresh, and limit the opposing offense's possessions, a critical factor when facing a high-powered unit like the Chargers. Key defensive factors for the Eagles. The Eagles' defense tends to be opportunistic, thriving on turnovers and applying pressure via a strong pass rush, particularly on the interior. However, their secondary can, at times, be vulnerable, especially against elite quarterbacks who can exploit man-to-man coverage. Los Angeles Chargers. The high-octane passing attack. The Los Angeles Chargers, spearheaded by their star young quarterback, boast one of the most explosive and efficient passing offenses in the NFL. Their offensive strategy is the polar opposite of Philadelphia's, focusing on quick strike drives and maximizing passing yardage. Key offensive factors for the Chargers. Elite quarterback play. The quarterback's accuracy, decision-making, and arm strength allow the Chargers to attack all levels of the field. This capability puts immense pressure on even the most talented secondaries. Weapons galore. The Chargers possess a diverse set of receiving threats, from reliable slot receivers to speedy outside threats and a pass-catching running back, making their offense difficult to key on. Potential vulnerability. While the passing game is stellar, the Chargers' run game can be inconsistent. If the Eagles' defensive line manages to shut down the Chargers' rushing attack, the entire offense can become one-dimensional, making life easier for the Eagles' defensive coordinator. Key defensive factors for the Chargers. The Chargers' defense has been a mixed bag. They possess Pro Bowl caliber talent, particularly on the defensive line and in the secondary, but they have struggled with consistency, especially against the run. This is the single biggest point of friction in this matchup. Can the Chargers' defense stop the Eagles' running game? If not, their offense may not even get enough possessions to keep pace. The head-to-head clash, where the game will be won. The game will likely be decided by which team can dictate the pace. Eagles offense versus Chargers run defense. If the Eagles can establish the run early and efficiently, they will control the top and force the Chargers offense to press. A vulnerable Chargers run defense is the key variable here. Chargers offense versus Eagles secondary. The Chargers will look to exploit any weaknesses in the Eagles' backfield. If the Eagles' pass rush can consistently pressure the quarterback, it will disrupt the timing of the Chargers' passing game and potentially force mistakes. If the Eagles' defensive line falters, the Chargers could put up points quickly. The spread. Why the Chargers are slight favorites, minus 1.5. The initial betting line often reflects the market's perception of the relative power of the two teams and the home field advantage. Eagles spread, plus 1.5. Odds, minus 110. Chargers spread, minus 1.5. Odds, minus 110. The line has established the Los Angeles Chargers as a 1.5-point favorite. This small spread essentially indicates the odds makers view this as a coin flip game, with the 1.5 points factoring in the advantage of playing at home in front of their local crowd. Analyzing the spread, minus 1.5. The case for the Chargers, covering minus 1.5. The Chargers, with their dynamic passing game, are built to exploit a team like the Eagles who can struggle to maintain consistent pressure without blitzing. Furthermore, the Chargers' offense can score points in bunches, which is a major advantage when trying to cover a short spread. A major turnover or a quick touchdown drive could easily swing the game by more than 1.5 points. The market is betting on the better quarterback and the home venue to prevail. The case for the Eagles, covering plus 1.5. The Eagles' strength, the running game, is a natural antidote to the Chargers' defensive struggles. If the Eagles can run for 150-plus yards and win the top battle, they stand an excellent chance of keeping the game within 1 point or winning outright. A 1.5-point spread means the Eagles simply need to avoid losing by a field goal or more. Losing by 1 point or winning the game outright wins the bet. Given the Eagles' ability to control the clock and keep the score low, taking the 1.5 points of insurance is highly appealing. Betting consideration. The 1.5-point line is the shortest possible non-zero spread, making it a true test of who wins. If you believe the Eagles win, take the money line or the spread. If you believe the Chargers win, taking the spread is slightly safer than the money line, though the odds are the same. For a high-variance game like this, the safer bet might be taking the underdog with the points. The money line, betting on the winner. The money line is the simplest bet, picking the team you believe will win the game outright. The odds are adjusted to reflect the implied probability of each team winning. Team moneyline implied probability. Eagles, plus 105. 48.78% implied probability. Chargers, minus 125. 55.56% implied probability. Note, the probabilities sum to over 100% due to the bookmaker's VIG or commission. Analyzing the money line. Chargers, minus 125. A $125 bet wins $100 profit. Total return $225. The minus 125 odds reflect the Chargers' status as the slight favorite. This is the chalk pick, suggesting the bookmakers think the Chargers are marginally more likely to win, largely due to the home field edge and their explosive offense. Eagles, plus 105. A $100 bet wins $105 profit. Total return $205. The plus 105 odds indicate the Eagles are the slight underdog. Getting plus money on a team as physically dominant in the trenches as the Eagles is tempting. If the Eagles' run game travels well and the Chargers struggle to tackle, the Eagles offer excellent value. Betting consideration. If you are confident in the Eagles' ability to control the game flow via their running game, the plus 105 money line provides a much better payout than the plus 1.5 spread at minus 110 without sacrificing much expected value. Conversely, if you strongly believe the Chargers' star quarterback will have his way against the Eagles' secondary, the minus 125 money line is a respectable price for the outright favorite at home. The total points, over-under, 42.5. The total points or over-under bet focuses on the combined final score of both teams. Total overline, 42.5. Odds, minus 110. Total underline, 42.5. Odds, minus 110. The line is set at 42.5 points, which is relatively low for a modern NFL game, especially one featuring two strong offenses. This low line is the result of a key assumption about the game script. Analyzing the total, 42.5. The case for the under, U42.5. The primary factor driving the low total is the Eagles' style of play. A successful Eagles game plan involves long, grinding drives that eat up the clock. If the Eagles' offense succeeds in maintaining top dominance, the Chargers' potent offense will be relegated to fewer total possessions, directly limiting the number of scoring opportunities in the game. Furthermore, if the Eagles' pass rush is effective, forcing punts or field goals, the score will remain low. The expectation for the under is a final score, such as 21-20, 24-17, or 20-13. The case for the over, 42.5. The argument for the over relies on the Chargers' offense dictating the game. If the Chargers' offense manages to score quickly, either via long passes or exploiting the run defense of the Eagles for a few big runs, and the Eagles' offense also maintains their efficiency, points could stack up rapidly. Furthermore, defensive or special teams turnovers that lead to short fields for either side could easily push the total over 42.5. A final score of 27-24, 30-20, or 28-21 would easily hit the over. Betting consideration. The key is the pace of the game. If the Eagles impose their will, the clock will run, and the under is the strong play. If the Chargers turn the game into a shootout and force the Eagles to abandon their run-heavy approach, the over becomes highly likely. Given the Eagles' commitment to the run and the relatively low total, the market is leaning heavily on the time of possession narrative. However, a major defensive lapse by the Chargers on the ground or a sudden Chargers passing barrage could explode the score. The value in this particular line might lie in the over, as 42.5 is a low hurdle for two NFL teams with capable offenses. Final betting strategy and conclusion. Monday Night Football in Week 14 offers a classic contrast in styles, power running versus high-flying passing. This inherent conflict makes the betting lines incredibly tight. Summary of key data points. Spread. Chargers minus 1.5, a virtual pick'em. Moneyline, Chargers minus 125, slight home favorite. Total, 42.5, indicating expectations of a slower-paced defensive struggle. Strategic recommendation: if the Eagles' run game dominates, the Eagles win the time of possession, the Chargers' offense gets limited possessions, and the game stays under 42.5. In this scenario, the bet is Eagles plus 1.5, or Eagles plus 105 and under 42.5. If the Chargers' quarterback is unstoppable, the Chargers score quickly, the Eagles are forced to pass more often, and the score quickly climbs. In this scenario, the bet is Chargers minus 1.5 and over 42.5. Value pick: given the tightness of the spread and the value offered by the plus money underdog, the most attractive bet is likely on the Eagles plus 1.5. The difference in talent is minimal, and the Eagles' run game identity provides a clear path to controlling the clock and winning an ugly, close game, which the 1.5 points ensures a cover for. The possibility of a shootout also makes the over 42.5 a compelling contrarian play, as one big offensive play from the Chargers could shatter the low-scoring narrative. Ultimately, this Week 14 Monday night clash is poised to be a nail-biter. Bettors must decide whether the power of the Eagles' rushing attack or the efficiency of the Chargers' passing game will prevail under the lights. Trusting the ability of the Eagles' trenches to dictate the game flow offers the best combination of probability and payout for this highly anticipated matchup. Slam the like button and tackle that subscribe button right now. More wins, more plays. It's bets for days.